Have you ever been weirdly anxious for no apparent reason, or feel like your mind is drifting away a lot and can't hold its own for a long time? Life just passes by and things happen while you're just sitting in the passenger seat. Well, if you've ever felt that way, don't worry, we've got your back. That's because today we'll talk about a little thing called mindfulness that fixes a big chunk of all these issues. We'll go deep into what mindfulness is, as well as 7 tips to be more mindful so that you never lose touch with your personal groundedness and balance ever again. Before we get down with the actual video, if you like these type of videos and would like to see more health and wellness content, make sure to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss another video jam-packed with value and health tips. With that said, sit back, put your learning hats on, and let's get on with the video. What is mindfulness? So what exactly is mindfulness? The word itself is tossed around a lot throughout the self-help world and especially around meditation, but is rarely specifically defined. Mindfulness is actually just what it sounds like, to be mindful or aware of something, or in other words, focus, giving your full attention and focus to any particular thing. In meditation, for example, you're often mindful of your body, focusing on the different sensations. In sports like tennis, you're mindful of a few things at once, like the court, so that you don't step out of bounds, the ball, and the opponent. What it really means is that you give your undivided attention to a particular thing and don't drift off while doing so. But that's just the definition and what the word means. The idea of mindfulness itself is something way bigger and more complex than that. The idea is for mindfulness to be a practice that helps you relax, become more grounded within yourself, and ultimately get rid of the autopilot everyday business that today's world often leads us to. It's so easy to constantly be doing something, whether it's working, driving somewhere, talking to someone. We're barely left alone with ourselves anymore, and we're losing the ability to be alone with ourselves because of it. There's nothing wrong with being busy by itself, but when you think about it, when was the last time you were all alone, by yourself, and not doing anything? Just staying with yourself and experiencing what it's like to be you. Most likely, whenever you're alone, you either put on some music or watch YouTube or reach for your phone to play something or text someone. Most people never think about this, and this leads to them being out of touch with their bodies, with who they are, and what they believe in. And ultimately, it leads to a society of weaker people, and we can already see how that looks. That's what being mindful is, being able to be with yourself without any distractions and learning to enjoy the experience of being you, not the ego you, the real you, without the reputation and social status, the you that wakes up groggy and experiences their body, mind, and soul. Being able to do this alone not only leads to some crazy self-esteem, because you can be grounded within yourself and don't need outer validation in order to feel good about yourself, but you're also less likely to fall into other people's frames, as you will be way more realistic and perceptive to what's actually going on around you. So to sum up, mindfulness is a state, not a state of mind, but a state of being. A state of being opened up and receiving, not being pushed around by the following river, but having your own current. Sounds pretty cool, right? But no matter how cool it sounds, the question still remains. How do we reach this state? So let's go over 7 tips on how to be more mindful. Ready for this? Number 1, start off easy. The first tip is to start off easy. Don't go for full-on enlightenment right away. No one's there yet, so don't rush it. Instead, try testing the waters first. A couple of times throughout the day, try experiencing your body and the world around you. Focus on the 5 senses. Focus on how leaves feel between your fingers, or how they smell. Focus on how your muscles feel when you're walking or sitting. Is your back tensing? Are you feeling relief or release? Whatever it is, try doing this from time to time to get your feet wet and see how it feels. Just try and see how long you can go without getting distracted. There really are no rules, and you can do whatever you like in the beginning, as long as it involves you focusing on yourself and your surroundings for a while. You'll find that you're like a little kid, trying to absorb every bit of information in an exploratory manner. And that curiosity is a good thing. It is said that you can fall in love with anything, even a tree, if you pay attention to it long enough. So try it out. See how you feel. Number 2, fall in love with the practice. The second tip is to fall in love with the practice. Mindfulness is not a race. You're not doing it so that you can become more stable or grounded. It doesn't come that way, and you can't force it. If you're doing it that way, you'll just always be thinking, am I grounded yet? Am I grounded yet? The answer is, if you're still asking the question, no. True groundedness and mindfulness have come when you stop asking the question, when you stop looking for the end result and you just start enjoying the experience of yourself. Now you might be thinking, Why would I do anything if there's no end goal to it? And that's where you need to be more open to the experience and take it in. The results still come, but it wouldn't be a long-lasting change if you could track it so easily. True change has come once you're just walking around on the street and you realize, I haven't been anxious for a few months now. Interesting. So just sit back, stop pressing the gas button for a while, learn to enjoy the experience, and see where it takes you. Number 3, let go. Building on the previous point, it takes a lot of courage to let go and see where your intuition and inner focus will take you. It sounds a bit counterintuitive, as the idea was to not be easily swept away, but the only way to have your own current is to stop being overly obsessive about everything. The truth is that being a control freak is the furthest away from being in control. True stability comes from letting go of what you can't control, focusing on what you can do and who you are in that exact moment, and then acting accordingly. Half the business and detachment from the self comes from trying to micromanage everything. With to-do lists, task managers, and whatever, you get a lot done, but you get more and more detached from experiencing whatever you're doing. This is because people are more interested in numbers than people. But if just one person becomes more mindful after this video, the world would become a brighter place for it. Number 4, treat yourself well. What do we mean by treating yourself well? Sometimes while meditating or focusing on yourself, you can experience some not so pleasant things as well. Like if you just got into a fight with someone and then you decide to focus on the sensations in your body, you can feel some tingling and pent-up rage that you might not like. Don't judge it. Every emotion serves a person, and if you label an emotion as bad, you'll start running away from it every time it happens. Instead, accept it, feel it, and let it run its course. Treat yourself as if you would treat your kid. When most people mess up, they feel bad about messing up, and then they make themselves feel even worse. So they start feeling bad about feeling bad, and it's a vicious cycle that's totally unnecessary. But if your kid messes up and feels bad, you'd never tell the kid it's stupid for messing up or feeling bad. You'd encourage it and try to comfort it for messing up, ensuring the child that if it tries again next time it will succeed. You'd help it get over the emotion, not fuel it by saying it's stupid for feeling it. Just try to do the same with yourself. Number 5, don't overthink it. In other words, don't get lost in tips and tricks and the technical side of it. Going back to tip number 2, just experience the moment. It can be very easy for mindfulness to just become the next thing you chase and feel anxious about. Instead, just do it for the sake of doing it. Don't overthink it. It's not rocket science, and it's not the magic pill. It's just a tool every human has built inside of them, so everyone can use it. So don't think about it too much and let yourself have some fun. Number 6, don't multitask. People really need to step out of multitasking, as it's the opposite of mindfulness. Even if you feel like you're doing more and being more effective, it's usually a false feeling, as you're way better off finishing a single task with your undivided attention and then moving on to the next one. But it's not even just about effectiveness. Splitting your mind like that only leads to more attention deficit down the line. Instead, even if you're at work and can't focus on your body right now, focus on your work. Try doing the best job in the world of whatever you're doing and focus on that. If it's something you absolutely hate, I suggest definitely getting out of there. But even if it's not your perfect dream job, try to find the pleasure and intricacies in it and enjoy the process. Believe it or not, it pays off. Number 7, meditate. And lastly, meditate. No one expects you to be mindful 24/7 right from the get-go. People aren't built to rapidly shift habits like that. But even if you can't practice while outside or at work or meetings, you can always take 10 minutes before bed to mindfully meditate. Mindfulness meditation is one of the strongest ways of letting go of fear, doubt, anxiety, and pent-up anger throughout the day, and you'll be doing yourself quite the favor if you make it a part of your daily life. And there you have it, health lovers. Here's a bunch of food for thought on mindfulness and how to practice it. If you found this video helpful, definitely consider giving it a thumbs up as well as subscribing to the channel for more helpful tips and tricks on health and wellness. Also, share your thoughts about mindfulness in the comments below. We'd love to see what you think. With that being said, have a mindful day, and we'll see you next time.